Hello friends, nice to meet you again in this video in learning English with me. And for this video is the day 6, right, of learning the lesson on A. Food is a fuel or pleasure. And in this video, we will learn a speaking skill. Yeah, and it is the final part of the lesson on A. And in next video, we will learn the lesson on B. Okay, and for part A, we need to work in groups of 3, A, B, and C. So now if you are watching this video with your friends, so I think it is so great because we will have enough people, right, to keep the rows of A, B, and C. If now just only you watch my video, it is okay. So you can keep the rows of partner A and B and even for C, right? Okay. First, you need to read the sentences from 1 to 6 and decide individually whether you agree or disagree. Think about examples you can use to support your point of view. Yeah, let's see. For the first sentence in here, I want to explain again for you. You do not need to completely give your opinion for these sentences. You just think in your head. Do you agree or disagree with this sentence? And you also imagine about several examples, right? You will use to support for your opinion. Yeah. Okay, and for the sentence 1, women worry more about their diet than men. And for me, I agree with this sentence. Yeah. And then I will take example about body shape. For the women, they worry about this. So that's why they worry more about their diet than men. Okay, and for the sentence 2, some people today eat less healthily than 10 years ago. And for me, I also agree about this because for some people today, they are so busy with their work, right? So that's why they do not have a proper meal. Okay, one thing. And the second thing that for some people, they often eat fast foods. Okay. And next, for the sentence 3, men cook as a hobby, women cook because they have to. And for me, I disagree with this sentence, and I will take example, the life of the couples. Yeah, the life of the couple, right, after getting married, and they will split the housework with each other. And why I do not think men cook as a hobby, women cook because they have to. Okay. And for the sentence 4, vegetarians are healthier than people who eat a lot of meat. And for me, I disagree with this sentence, and then I will explain for you. It depends on natural physics of each person. With some people, right, if you eat a lot of meat, you will feel very strong. But with some people, if you eat a lot of meat, you do not feel strong, because it is depends on your natural physics. Yeah. So that's why I disagree with this sentence, and later I will explain more detail for you. Okay, and for next sentence 5, you can often eat better in cheap restaurants than in expensive ones. And for me, I disagree with this sentence as well. Firstly, I will tell you about the materials to cook, right? And for cheap restaurants, they cannot buy good materials. Yeah, one thing. And another thing, in cheap restaurants do not have good cookers. Yeah, and the reason why they do not have good cookers, I will explain later for you. And for the sentence 6, every country thinks that their cooking is the best. And for me, I agree with this sentence, and I will explain for you. Because for us, right, we get you the food of our countries. So that's why we think our country's food is the best. But if we live in abroad, right, for a long time, and we get you the food of that countries, right? So I think we also have the feeling it is the best food in the world. Yeah. Okay. Now for the part B. Now A, say what you think about sentence 1. Now for you, you will show your opinion, for the sentence 1, right? B and C listen and then agree or disagree with A. If you do not have friends are watching this video with you, so you also keep the roles B, right? And you will disagree with your previous opinions, because in here we are learning English, right? It is surprise we need to learn the ways how we explain and how we use examples, right, to discuss with our friends' opinion, because we want to improve our speaking skill, right? Then we say what you think about sentence 2, etc., and keep doing that, right, until we finish for all 6 sentences. Try to use expression in useful language. We have a useful language like this. For example, I agree, I don't agree. I think it's true, I don't think it's true. Or I think it depends on, okay? Yes, and for the sentence 1, women worry more about their diet than men. And as I told you before, right, I agree with this sentence. Because I think for the women, right, they care so much about their body shape. They want to have a fit bodies, right? So that's why they worry so much about their diet. They try to reduce meat and eat a lot of vegetable as possible to have a fit body. And for the second opinion, I disagree with this sentence, right? I disagree with you. I do not think women worry more about their diet than men. In this day, I also see there are a lot of men. They care so much about their health and also about their bodies. They try to have a good diet, reduce to eat so much fast, or the kind of foods contains a lot of sugar, and they also regularly exercise, to keep them to have a good health and have a beautiful body, okay. And for the sentence 2, young people today eat less healthily than 10 years ago. For me, I agree with this sentence, and I think it's true. Because for young people today, they are very busy with their work, right? So they do not have proper meals. Usually they will eat breakfast and lunch in the restaurants, right? And even those for the dinner, they also eat in restaurants. So in my opinion, I think for the food in a restaurant are not good as the food if you cook by yourself, because for the food you cook, right? So you can choose the materials. If you go to the market and you buy materials, right, to cook, so you will choose which are fresh, which are fresh and the best quality, And another thing that I think for the food in restaurants, we are not sure about the hygiene, right? So in a comparison about the hygiene of the food, so I think the food in a restaurant is more terrible than the food if we cook at home, And another reason why I think young people today eat less healthily than 10 years ago, that they now for many young people, right, they prefer eating fast foods. And fast foods are not good for your health, because the fast foods contain so much fast oils. And if you eat fast foods, you also drink so a lot of Coca-Colas. So in Coca-Cola contain a lot of sugar, so it is not good for your health, okay? Now, for the second opinion, I disagree with your opinion. I absolutely disagree with you. I think for young people today, they do not eat less healthily than 10 years ago. I see that there are many guys, right, on television, and even on social media such as TikTok or YouTube, right? There are many guys, they are men, right? They care so much about their diets. They have proper diets, and they also regularly exercise. So it means they care about their health so much, right? And they also cook by themselves. Even those for whole day, right? They are so busy with their work. But in the evenings, they try to cook at home and choose the good materials to cook, which are fresh, and they also buy the kind of materials which are healthy for them. Yeah, so that's why I disagree with you. And for this day, you know that there is a lot of information on internet to help you know which kind of diet is good for your health. And so many men, right? They refer that information to help them have a good diet. So that's why, yeah, I disagree with you, friend. Okay, and for the sentence three, men cook as a hobby, women cook because they have to. And for me, I disagree with this sentence, suggest for the life of the couple, right? For whole day they have to work, so on today they are busy. But even if they will come back home, and at the time there are many houseworks. Yeah, for the husband and the wife, they need to do such as cooking, cleaning their house, washing the dishes, washing clothes. So at the time they will discuss, right, and split the work. If the women like to cook, they will cook, and for the remaining work, the husband have to touch, right? The husband has to touch. So that's why I do not think men cook as a hobby, women cook because they have to. But in here, I think women cook as a hobby and men cook because they have to. Because when you discuss with your wife, right, to select the work you have to do or the work your wife will do, and usually you will prioritize for your wife to choose first. So if the wife choose cooking, right, it means cook as a hobby of the woman. Yeah, and for us, the men, right, we do not have any choice, so we have to do other work. So we have to do. We do not like, but we have to do. And even those with us, some men, right, we do not like to cook, but because our wife, right, do not like to cook, and she said that if it is, she will clean the floors or wash the dishes. So at the time, we have to cook. So cook is not our hobby, right? Yeah. Okay, and for the second opinion, you will say, "Hi, friends, I disagree with you." Yeah, I do not think your opinion is true. I think for men when they cook as a hobby, and for the woman if they cook, they have to do. They have to do. Yeah. Such as in my countries, in Vietnam countries, right? For many families, they think that for the men had to go out to find a good job, to work, to earn a lot of money, and bring back the money for their wives. And for the wives, right, will stay at home to take care of the house and also cook. Yeah, so this means that for many women, right, they do not like to cook, but they have to do that because their husband go out to work to earn the money and do not have the time to cook or do the housework. And for the women, they have to do. Even though many women, right, they do not want to stay at home to cook, to do the housework. They want to go out to work to earn the money. But because there are many houseworks, so they cannot go out to work. They have to stay at home to take care of the house, to take care of the children. Yeah. So that's why I disagree with your friend. Okay, and for the sentence four, vegetarians are healthier than people who eat a lot of meat. And for this, yeah, I do not agree. As I told you before, right? For it depends on your natural physics. With some people, it requires you need to eat a lot of meat, so you will have enough energy, right, to work, to study. But with some other people, if you eat so a lot of meat, and because your body cannot consume all of the meat, so that's why you feel so tired and you do not feel healthy. So with those people, you need to reduce to eat meat, and you need to eat much more vegetable. So with those people, if they eat much more vegetable and do not eat meat, so they feel healthy. Yeah. So that's why I do not agree with this sentence. It's depend on the person. Yeah, depend on the person. Okay. But in here, yeah, I can assure to you that with the people for right now, right? They do not feel helpless because there is so a lot of meat, so they discuss meat and do not eat meat anymore, and they just eat much more vegetables and other kind of food, right? Which are not meat, so they feel more helpless. I agree with these people. Yes, just in the case they compare with themselves, right? Well, for right now, they feel they are stronger than they are in the past. In the past, they ate so a lot of meat, so they did not feel strong, right? Did not feel healthy, but now they discard meat. They eat much more vegetables and they feel healthy. I agree, they are stronger than themselves, right? Before, but in a comparison with other people, we are not sure, right? As I already explained for you, it depends on the person. Okay, and now for the second opinion, friends, I'm afraid that I have another thinking with you. I think for vegetarians are healthier than people who eat a lot of meat. And as I know, yeah, I do not remember clearly, but before I read one article, and that article stated that if we eat so a lot of meat, right? Yes. So we cannot totally digest the meat. Yeah, and another thing that we enforce our bodies. Yeah, our bodies, right? Our stomachs have to work so much, so that will affect to our health. Yeah, and that can destroy about the normal function inside our body. So that's one of the reasons makes you feel unhealthy. Yes. And another thing that if you eat much more vegetable, yeah, so you do not enforce your stomach work so much, right? So that's why you will feel healthy. And another thing that's in vegetable do not contain much toxic substances, but in meat, because for the farmers, right, when they feed chicken or they feed cows, they use so much so much stimulating drugs. Yeah, they use so much stimulating drugs or stimulating foods. Yeah, to feed the chicken or the cows. So let's do the meat is poisonous, right? The meat is poisonous, so it is not good for the health of the human if we eat a lot of meat. So that's why I agree with this sentence. Vegetarians are healthier than people who eat a lot of meat. Yeah. Okay, and for the sentence 5, you can often eat better in cheap restaurants than in expensive ones. And for me, I do not agree with this sentence, because for cheaper restaurants, if they want to sell their food, right, with cheaper prices, so it means they need to buy the materials which are cheap as well, right? Yeah, one thing. And another thing that they cannot hire good cookers, because for good cookers, I think they just work for expensive restaurants. Because for us, right, we are laborers and we work. It means that we want to earn the money, right? So, which restaurants pay higher salaries for us, we will work for those restaurants. And I'm sure that you that for cheap restaurants cannot pay the salaries which are higher than expensive ones. Yeah. So that's why I do not agree with this sentence. Yeah. And for the second opinion, you can say like this: Hi, friends. Yeah, I don't think that your opinion is true. I disagree with you because I already ate several cheap restaurants nearby my house. Yeah. I had to confess to you that about the quality of the food is the same with the quality of the food I already ate in several expensive restaurants as well. And I asked the owners of those cheap restaurants. They say just because they do not hire the place, right, to open restaurants in the public places. So that's why they can reduce the cost of renting houses. So that's one of the reasons why they can sell the foods with cheap prices. Yeah, but they ensure about the quality of materials they buy to make food. It is so fresh, it is so good, and they care so much about that. Yes, just relates to the position. They open restaurants in small streets and do not do not have many people, right, know about their position. So that's why to attract the people come to their place to eat, because the ways how to get the restaurants is very inconvenient. Yeah, so that's why they sell the food with cheap prices. Yeah, it is the main reason. Okay. And for the final sentence, sentence 6, every country thinks that their cooking is the best. I absolutely agree with this sentence, as I told you before, right? Because we get you to our country food. So that's why we always think the food of our countries is the best. I will tell you one example. So just for the food in Vietnam, right? In Vietnam countries, we add quite a lot of sugars. I'm not sure, but in the place I'm living now, for every food, right, we always add sugar. So for me, I had the feeling that with the kind of food, I feel a little bit sweet. So I think that kind of food is very good. But with European food, they add so much sugar, they add so much salt. Yes, they add so much salt, so their food is so salty. So with those kind of foods, I do not like. Yeah. Okay, and for opposite opinion, you can say like this. Hi, friends. I disagree with you. I think I do not think every country think the cooking is the best. Such as for me, now I'm living in Vietnam, right? Of course, I appreciate Vietnamese food, but in comparison, I think for Japanese food is better than Vietnam. And I already traveled to Japan for several times and ate a lot of Japanese food. Yeah, for almost Japanese food are so great. Yes, yeah, and especially for materials are very fresh. And when you eat, you will have the feeling that like you are living in the heaven. It is so wonderful. And while eating Japanese food, you will forget anything around you. At the time, on your mind, you just focus on eating. And I also asked all the tourists who visited Japan with me, and they also appreciate Japanese food, and they also say that Japanese food are better than their country food. Yeah. Okay, and now for your homework, please practice again today's lesson. We have 6 sentences, right? You need to give your opinion, and you also keep the rules of your friends. Disagree with your opinion. Yeah, practice. And when you feel you can speak fluently, please record the video and post in the comment box. So I think if you seriously follow my instruction, you can improve quickly your English. Hopefully you like these videos and keep watching my English video. Yeah. Thanks for watching and bye bye.